What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to No Life to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update, part 2. This is going to be part 2 of my 7-inch video that I started the other day with all the metal stuff. This is all 70s stuff, hard rock metal, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to get right into it because I have a lot to show, and that video was 30 minutes, and I've got the same stack here. So, alright, UFO, Born to Lose, super rare. I believe it's the only, I think it's a Yugoslavian pressing, and I think it was the only single press for that particular song, Born to Lose. Back with Reasons Love. Yes, Reasons Love. I got it right. So really cool to have. Again, UFO, one of those bands I, really much into and add anything to my collection. This is actually one I have, but this version has the patch, so of course I had to grab it. It wasn't super expensive, but this is when it's time to rock it. Everybody knows. But yeah, you can see the patch, which will be staying with the record. I've got probably, I don't know, 10, 15 7-inch singles that came with patches back in the day. Mostly happened in the UK, but Kiss I know I have, and I think that's 2 or 3 now I have of UFO, and gosh, I can't remember. There's several of them I have. Michael Schenker I think is another one I might have. So, alright, this is a band you don't see me show very often, so, but this is Van Halen, Running with the Devil, and Eruption, and this is a German pressing of that single. I was very much into Van Halen in 78, 79, 80, 81. Really started losing interest in 82 when they came out with songs like Jump, which actually I don't actually mind this day, and I actually find it to be an amusing song. But yeah, I don't know. And then they went into the the Roth was gone, and Roth's solo album was far better than, in my opinion, his first solo album, Eat 'Em and Smile, was far better than anything Van Halen released with Sammy Hagar. And I like Sammy Hagar, man. I loved him in Montrose, and I like some of the solo stuff, but I just didn't care all that much for Van Halen with Sammy Hagar. But with Roth, despite the fact that he was not a great vocalist, he was a great frontman, and he was 100% rock and roll, and that's what I liked about him. Another Japanese pressing. This is for Oh Pretty Woman, and Happy Trails on the B-side. I picked this one up in a lot. I actually think I have this one already. I haven't had a chance to double check it. So if so, this is going to end up becoming a trader. But regardless, Van Halen, Oh Pretty Woman, Japanese pressing. And speaking of Jump, there's a Japanese pressing of Jump. Let's see, what was it backed with? House of Pain, which is a great song. One of the best songs on that album, actually. So Van Halen, and then from the David Lee Roth EP before he left the band, this is a Japanese pressing of California Girls. This is actually a promo pressing, so I believe it's I think it's stereo on both sides. I'm not gonna look it up. It's got the same song on both sides. So regardless, Japanese pressing. All right, this is awesome. I found this in California at a record store. I believe actually I found that at Amoeba for almost nothing. But this is Grand Funk Shining On 7-inch test pressing. Very unique item. I'm sure, I don't know how many were pressed. I mean, if there were 100 pressed, this is back when, and good luck finding copies. So I just got lucked into that one out in the wild. So, and then a Japanese pressing of Grand Funk Sally. It's kind of interesting in that I'm going to say 95%, if not more, of the Japanese pressings I own have the sleeve that just splits open, and then it's got the record company sleeve that sits inside of it. This one here is an actual Japanese pressing in an actual record sleeve. It does have a poly insert that apparently came with it originally, but yeah, it's not in one of those it's just not your typical Japanese pressing sleeve. It also is not in mint condition. Now the vinyl's in good condition, but as you can see, the cover has a few bumps and bruises on it, but it's obviously not bad. See if I can get in the right lighting. You can kind of see a couple of wrinkles and whatnot on the paper, but still really cool to have. Grand Funk Sally Japanese pressing. Then we got a few Nick Gilder singles here. not metal by any stretch of the imagination. But this is actually Sweeney Todd. This is the Kilt and Roxy Roller, which Roxy Roller is the A side. But Nick Gilder was the singer for the band, and then later on, I believe Bryan Adams joined that band as well. So Canadian glam band, kind of like the Sweet, or I don't know, the Sweet's the first one that comes to mind. Slade, that kind of stuff. And then this is a stereo mono promo pressing of "You Really Rock Me" from Nick Gilder, and then finally a song most people who grew up in the 80s probably know, but this is "Hot Child in the City" by Nick Gilder, backed with Backstreet Noise. This one I picked up in California as well. We were just walking around some, I don't know, what do you call it, antique store, and I found this little box of 7-inch singles. Most of it was junk that I didn't care about. Most of them weren't even in the sleeves. Then I found this, and it was, I think, $1 or $2. Steppenwolf, a later pressing, a repressing, probably a jukebox pressing, I would imagine, because it's got two of their biggest hits on the one single, but it's got Magic Carpet Ride and Born to Be Wild. So, you know, worth $1. It even had the MCA sleeve. I assume it's the sleeve it came in. I'm not sure why, you know, why it wouldn't be. Speaking of glam, this is Mott the Hoople, Rock Away the Stone, backed with Where Do You All Come From? In an orange CBS sleeve. And then we got some Uriah Heep. This is one of their big hits, Lady in Black, backed with Simon the Bullet Freak. I believe this is a German pressing. Yes, it is. And see that little Gemma thing right there? See, it's upside down. Gemma. They usually the giveaway that it's a German pressing. I don't know if it goes on all German pressings, or I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the Gemma is. But anyhow, all right. Aerosmith. Everybody knows I'm a huge Aerosmith fan, and I wouldn't be a No Life to Metal update without some Aerosmith. And I got some unique items. You're like, don't you have everything by them yet? No. There's so many singles to collect by them. It's ridiculous. But this is, I'm gonna butcher this, Pinta la Linea, backed with, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna be able to get this right. It's Come Together, basically, is one of the songs on here, but this is a Mexican pressing of this single in the Mexican sleeve, which I thought was really cool. There's actually a Mexican single for Back in the Saddle that I've been dying to get. The thing never shows up. I mean, I've been looking for it for 10 years. I've seen it twice on eBay, and both times I've bid on it, and both times it's gone well into the hundreds of dollars, and I'm like, just can't do it. Can't do it. But this last time that I bid, the Mexican seller had that single and this one, Vegan Wantos and Rise y Reinos. So you've got Come Together, backed with Kings and Queens. And that it is in the picture sleeve, so I bid on that one, and thankfully nobody else did. So I got it for the lowest price possible, and nice to have it in my collection. Just, just a unique Aerosmith item. So, as is this one. I wish I could read the other side, but one is too dark. Two, it's got a stamp over top of it. And then reading Spanish is a bit difficult for me. So. Nah, anyhow, you get the idea. All right, Black Sabbath, Paranoid. I can't remember what pressing this is on the Vertigo label. Doesn't really matter. That's just, it's Black Sabbath, so it has to be in any metal fan's collection. Paranoid, backed with, I can't see it. There's Rat Salad. It says right on the front cover. Oh, open your eyes and read, right? Always looking for Sabbath singles. Sabbath singles are like, and Pink Floyd singles, and there's just certain bands that their singles sell for ridiculous prices, and Black Sabbath singles are expensive. So when I find them for a good price, I immediately jump on them, and that's the case with this one. And the next one, which I got for an unbelievable price, it's not in, the cover's not in mint condition, but it's not bad either. So you've got Sabbath Bloody Sabbath with changes. Pretty cool. All right, I'm going to put this to the side for now. Queen, this is Bohemian Rhapsody, Japanese pressing, back with I'm in Love with My Car. It's got the original Electra sleeve. Queen, A Kind of Magic, backed with A Dozen Roses for You, Darling, which I picked up from Vinyl Tap out in the UK. And Queen, It's a Hard Life. I think it's the third It's a Hard Life single that I have. I like this cover the best out of the ones I do have. I believe this is a UK pressing as well. Let's see here. Made in... can't read it. Can't see it. One of my all-time favorite bands, and I've got one more. I was going to hold it off because I have one more killer single coming in the mail. It's just taking forever. But first up, Japanese pressing of Thin Lizzy's... excuse me, Thin Lizzy's Chinatown, but I'm looking for the B-side. Oh, Sugar Blues, right? Oh, Sugar Blues Live. I'd forgotten about that. So this single, actually, when I was out in California, was in Amoeba Records, and in the back of the store, they had this kind of wall of stuff, collectibles, and this was on there, and they wanted way too much for it. I bet it's still there because I don't think anybody's going to pay what they wanted for it. So I finally... This thing shows up quite a bit on eBay, but again, I don't want to pay 40 and 50 bucks for a single. I finally found one for a decent price, and I snatched it up quickly, and then they had another single I wanted that was Japanese, and I grabbed them both because it just saved me on shipping. Alright, next up, kind of a unique single. I'm not sure much about this thing. I haven't looked much into it. It is on the Polydor label. It's Whiskey in a Jar. It's single-sided. The B-side has nothing on it. It's got no grooves. It's got nothing printed on it. And the copyright date on it is 1985. So I don't know what came out in 1985 that they put a single out for, a single-sided single out. I'm assuming it came out because of some compilation or something like that. But yeah, Whiskey in a Jar, promo, single-sided single. I don't think I've ever seen this thing before, so I was happy to snag that. This is a promo mono stereo US pressing on the London label of Thin Lizzy's Little Darling, which of course was I believe the first track, the 4-piece recorded after Eric Bell left the band, and absolute killer song. You can see it says mono and stereo on it, stereo there, and mono on the other side. You see a little star, but this one also has a little stamp on it. Let's see if I can get it to show. Someone stamped it 10 cents. I didn't pay 10 cents for it. I didn't pay a lot, but I didn't pay 10 cents for it. Good luck finding any single for 10 cents. Alright, and then this is a UK pressing in the polygram sleeve for Rosalie and Half Cast. And Half Cast was a non-album track, as I recall. And then another Thin Lizzy single. Just the two of us on the B side, and the A side is Do Anything You Want. Okay, Kiss. Finally scored a near mint copy of this. Problem, when the single originally came, they said it was the original release with the original sleeve, and when I received it, it was not the original sleeve, because this is the original sleeve. It just says Casablanca on it, and it has the camels. The sleeve it came in said Casablanca Records and Filmwork, which is the wrong sleeve, because there was no Casablanca Records and Filmworks yet. As you can see, it's got the blue Neil Bogart label, and this is the original version of Kissing Time, with Nothing to Lose on it. And of course, Kissing Time was not on the original album. It was later added to pressings of it. Japanese pressing of Calling Dr. Love, back with Take Me from Rock and Roll Over album. This is a live version of Shout It Out Loud and a live version of Nothing to Lose. Again, Japanese pressing. This is from the Double Platinum album. This is Strutter 78. Backed with Shock Me. Another Japanese pressing. One of my least favorite songs by Kiss. Disco Rock. Yeah, this is a, I believe this is a Spain pressing, if I'm not mistaken, of I Was Made for Loving You with Hard Times on the B-side. Far prefer Hard Times. I Was Made for Loving You, I know it was a big hit and people love the song, but never was a favorite of mine, even though I'm a Kiss fanatic. This is Sure Know Something, backed with Dirty Living U.S. pressing in the proper Casablanca sleeve. As you see, it's got the Casablanca Records and Filmworks sleeve and logo, and it's got the camels morphing into the cameras. And this is not Kiss, but it's Kiss related. Ace Frehley. This is Into the Night. This is a Spain promo pressing of Into the Night. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive, I looked at this when I bought it. It was both sides have the same track on it. So like I said, it's a promo pressing. Kiss, Ace Frehley especially, anything by him I will pick up. All right, this last pile is all the same band, and I just got on a kick for this band all of a sudden. I don't know. It's summertime. I heard one song, and then I was playing the first 3 albums. I have all their albums, but I'm not a big fan of much after the 3rd album. But this is Boston, and this is More Than a Feeling. This is a Spain pressing, Más que un sentimiento, Fumando, and Avance Mucho Tiempo. So that is More Than a Feeling, Smoking, and Foreplay, and Long Time. So basically a 4-track EP. And Japanese pressing of More Than a Feeling and Smoking. And so you can see here with what I was talking about earlier with the Japanese singles. It's just a single sleeve, that fits in front of the CBS record sleeve. And that's the way most Japanese pressings are. So that Grand Funk I showed you earlier was kind of unique in that sense. This is Más que un sentimiento. So with Fumando on the B-side. A UK pressing of More Than a Feeling, back with Smokin'. Getting into the 2nd album, this is Don't Look Back and The Journey. And this is a German pressing. And then we've got a Japanese pressing of Don't Look Back and The Journey. And I believe I have this... Yeah, I have this in upside down. So this goes like this. Give me 1 second. We're almost done here. I promise. There's the... And then... No Myers Atros. Backed with El Viaje. I think I'm saying that properly. El Viaje. No Myers Atros. So basically, Don't Look Back in the Journey. Spain, again, Spain, I believe this is a Spain pressing, not a Mexican pressing. This next one's kind of unique. It's another 4-track EP, so you've got, maybe actually 3-track EP. This is Don't Look Back, More Than a Feeling, and Smokin', which was, I believe, released as a kind of like a tour EP, or tour 7-inch back in 1978. And then we're getting into the 3rd album. These are the last 2 I'm going to show for this video. This is Boston, We're Ready. And what's on the B-side? The Launch. And this is a proper U.S. pressing. There are promo pressings that are in the same sleeve that have a white label and have the song We're Ready on both sides, which I don't have, but I've seen them. And then this is a promo pressing of the track Holly Ann, which I think is a great track. And this is, as you can see, it's the white label promo. This is on a different label, though. This is on MCA. The first 2 albums were on Epic. And I believe this is stereo on both sides, if I'm not mistaken. Promo copy not for sale. Stereo. Yeah, so it's stereo on both sides. They kind of stopped doing the mono thing somewhere in the early 80s. So, and this was, what, 86, 87, somewhere in that area. I just remember I was in college when this thing came out, so 86, 87. So Holly Ann, cool picture sleeve as well. So that's it. That's my 2nd update. All 70s hard rock and metal. And some just 70s rock, but I appreciate you all watching. Once again, leave a comment below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. God bless. Stay strong.